Welcome back to another episode on the Budget Built Miata, presented by Nankang Motorsport and Raceback. Today we're at the racetrack to give this thing its maiden shakedown to see if this car is any good or not. One of the challenges that Pete and I faced when we decided to make this YouTube challenge car was we're going to put a bunch of different people in the car and we want to equip them with appropriate safety gear because not every YouTuber is going to have their own helmet. And it just so happens that Conquer, who make SA rated helmets, SA is like the motorsport or auto sport safety rating for helmets. You can see inside here we've got the SA 15 rating on the sticker in here, or 2015, so we know this helmet's good for another 11 years, so I think it's good to 2026 if I'm lucky to live that long. In any case, these are incredibly affordable helmets. This open face one is like $117 on Amazon. So thank you very much, Conquer, for coming on board to support this series with a bunch of different helmets so that we can make everyone safe. And we'll put a link in the description to Amazon where you can go and find these helmets yourself. I should mention they also make them in a closed face version. They also have a rally version, and they even offer them in carbon fiber if you want to be a big baller. I think they're like closed-faced carbon helmets, only like 450 bucks. So all this stuff's incredibly affordable for what is a true SA rated helmet, which means it's got like a fireproof lining, it's been crash tested and meets all the safety regulations you need. It's also quite light. We like the open face obviously for video, lets you see our face, lets you hear our voice. So with all that said, I should also touch on the fact that we did do a quick alignment on the car at NV Auto before coming out here. We are maxed out in the front for negative camber. We can only get a little bit over 2 degrees in the front. I really would have liked to have a little over 3 degrees in the front. So maybe let us know in the comment section if you think, if you know of some good ways for us to add more camber. We've just maxed out the eccentric bolts. We don't have anything else adjustable in the front. In the rear, we're just under 2 degrees. We didn't want to have more rear than front camber, obviously, so we took a bit out in the rear just to kind of have the right, a balanced camber front to rear on this car. So it's time to hit the track, give it a quick shakedown, see if we need to turn the knobs on our Fortune Auto dampers or need to adjust that big Eibach rear sway bar. We have it set to full stiff. A lot of you guys are saying we're going to regret the bigger rear bar. We might want to go back to the OE bar that Pete bent over his knee. So anyway, we're going to give this thing a good shakedown and see what we've got to work with. All right, PT, here we go. Maiden voyage on the track with the windows up so you guys can hear us hopefully.
Oh, she sounds angry.
All 7,000 RPM of Miata Fury. Our race pack just picked up the start finish line automatically because this track is in their database.
Well, that's good.
So that's a good start. And it feels like a Miata so far.
It's good, yeah.
Not trying to kill me yet.
Feels a little floaty.
A little floaty. We'll have to maybe put some clicks into our dampers here. And I have no idea what our tire pressures are at, so we'll have to check those when we get back in. Anyway, we just wanted to give it a quick shakedown here and see if it has any bad habits.
Feels like it's got good turn-in though.
It does have good turn-in and good grip level in general, considering we're on cold tires, cold brains.
And the seats feel good though.
The seats do feel really good.
Harnesses are awesome.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a shake in the front left there. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I feel like yeah, for sure.
Where's the VTEC, bro? I want more VTEC.
Yeah, see, it's like you can feel it just like shaking away.
Yeah,
there.
It's got some vibration there.
Did we torque the wheels?
Should we go check?
Well, I think we should.
Yeah, that's a weird vibration.
All right, wheels are torqued. The fronts were a little loose.
They were, eh?
That's our shimmy, but...
Okay. Well, let's see if we notice the shimmy's gone.
I have more confidence now. Oh, yeah, there's certainly a shake somewhere in the chassis. That could be like motor mounts or something's loose.
Yeah, that's not a confidence-inspiring feeling. The car is understeering too, which is interesting. I thought it would be oversteering like crazy. Instead, it's understeering. Well, the good news is nothing fell off the car. After that quick torque check that Pete did on the wheels and tires, we still have that shake. I think it's only in left-hand turns, but I don't know. It feels like it's coming from the front, but you'd think if it's only happening one direction, maybe it's a drive shaft. I don't know, wheel bearing. Anyway, you guys let us know in the comments if you're familiar with the front end.
I think it might be motor mounts.
Motor mounts, okay. Well, we have some homework to do there. In the meantime, I want to do just a quick checkup on all of our settings because I have no idea what the shocks are set at. I have no idea what the tires are set at. So let's just go around and do like a baseline starting point on tire pressures and shock settings. So these Nankang NS2Rs, as we discussed in a previous episode, are a new 200 treadwear offering. These used to come in a 120 or a 180, but these are the new 200 treadwear version, obviously designed to fit into the street classes for autocross and time attack. So you can see here we're at almost 36, which is way high for these tires. We know from previous experience that these like to be like in the high 20s or low 30s. So I'm gonna bleed them down to like 28, see how that feels. The car did have some understeer in it, which might be related to the tire pressures, may also be related to the way the shocks are set right now. So we're just gonna go like back to ground zero here and get everything set up properly. All right, PT. Let's see if this car is gonna handle a little better.
See what happens. We got a check engine light on.
It just means it's a race car.
Yeah, that's either the EGR
Yep.
or what else was there? Could be the O2s.
Yep,
One or the
out
other.
of the car, right?
Yeah. So actually, I noticed that the rear lights weren't turning on when you put the car into reverse.
Oh, really?
So that could be also the issue.
Yeah, this thing makes good grip, eh?
Yeah, feels good.
I just want another 100 horsepower.
Yeah, it's a little slow, but it's perfect for what we need. Brakes feel good.
They do feel good. The gearbox is pretty vague and you don't really know where you're going with it.
I think that's a byproduct of the stock shifter mounts and whatnot.
Yeah. Feels better. It's not understeering there, so that's an
good.
improvement.
Can we just talk about the sound for a second?
It does sound good, eh?
It sounds really good. That exhaust is awesome paired with that header.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, it does have a little bit of a pop. I like it.
Yeah, it gives it a good aggressive, it sounds faster than it is.
Yeah. Now, the one thing we didn't mention is we added this long extension to the shifter.
Yes.
Which gave it a good position up much higher, but that may be a problem in terms of what you were saying with the shifter.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like, where am I going there?
Yeah.
Chuck it in here. Like, it's very grippy and pretty neutral there, but I kind of like to loosen it up some more.
Me too.
I think we need to put some more, crank up the rear dampers. Part of the problem too is that we don't have a lot of front camber, so we're not getting as much front grip as maybe we would want, which would loosen up the rear end.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to get into arms at that point, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something we really want to do, right?
Yeah, it's definitely still got a little bit of push as the tires heat up. Well, I think maybe we'll go and crank up those rear dampers a bit.
More changes have been made, and it's my turn for my maiden voyage in here. DP's not coming. We all know he gets a little bit of motion sickness, and I don't want the extra weight, so. Sorry, Dave.
It is a big weight penalty, I'm not gonna lie. So I made some fairly dramatic changes to the dampers. I stiffened the rear and softened the front to try to get to oversteer. So
Let's see what happens.
let me know how it goes.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Lacking the jam. That is 100% fact. It wasn't as bad in the passenger side, but now that I'm driving, I'm like, holy smokes. Ooh, good brakes though. Feels real good with the brakes. Yeah. Still not really having the oversteer that we want. I don't love the pedals on this car though. Yeah, it's still understeering. Let's see here. Let's see if I chuck it in. Yeah, see that? Oh, come on, girl. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh yeah, there she goes. Now she's starting to warm up. But even trying a little trail brake there wasn't happening. There we go. There we go. There we go. Woo! All right. You really got to push the thing to get it to oversteer. But if you're trying to put a fast lap down here and you're being cautious, like see, it just pushes. Mid-corner push there.
Well, based on Pete's feedback, we are trying even harder to make this thing rotate. As you were saying, it's not like it's understeering badly.
No, it's not terrible.
It's just got a little bit of mid-corner push, which isn't what you want in a rear drive sports car. It's going to be fast this way. I just don't feel like it's going to be that entertaining when other people drive it. We want to see people like dealing with some oversteer and having to really drive the car and maybe spinning out. So right now the car's too stable. It's probably fast, but just not that much fun. So I've cranked the rear dampers up to basically full stiff. I've softened the fronts up a bunch. And now I'm putting some more air in the rear tires, just trying to take some rear grip out of it. I've taken out the shifter extension here. So now we're down to like the OE position on the shift knob. It already feels different. Hopefully it takes away some of that vagueness that I was griping about with the extender on there. So other than that, I think we're kind of maxed out in terms of what we can do to loosen this car up. If I still don't have it kind of like neutralized, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll figure that out after this session here, so let's let it rip. I like the shifter position better already. It's higher effort, but it's definitely more positive feeling. The downside to making these big changes to the damper settings is that now that I got the front to basically full soft and the rear to full stiff, I feel like the car is a little bit out of the frequencies across the front axle and the rear axle are different now, so the car's feeling a little disconnected, which is not what you want. We're kind of getting out into that space of the extreme ends of adjustability on the front and rear dampers, and it's just feeling a little bit out of sync. But I'll give it some abuse here. Oh yeah. Part of the problem there is now that I've got such an extreme setup in the car, when it breaks loose pretty rapidly. It's not great. I really want it to break loose progressively so that you feel like you've got to play with it over the limit, you know, it inspires confidence, and right now it feels like it's going to be kind of snappy. The other problem with going full soft on the front dampers is I'm getting a lot of nosedive on the brakes and some bounce happening in the braking zones too, so yeah, I got to put some more front damper in it, I'm afraid. Well, I'm a little perplexed, everyone, because no matter how aggressive I got with the setup, we weren't getting rid of that mid-corner push. I went full stiff in the rear and full soft in the front, and I cranked up the rear tire pressures, and she's still pushing in the middle of the turns. So, and frankly, going to the extreme ends of the shocks made the car quite unhappy anyway, so it wasn't worth playing in those spaces. So I've turned it back to a more neutral setting. And I think we just have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and rethink why it's understeering that little bit. Because I mean, typically Miatas are those cars that are like on a pivot, you know, it's always just on the edge of wanting to oversteer, and this car's not doing that. Part of it, I think, is it has a ton of mechanical grip on these Nankangs. These NS2Rs make a lot of grip. Nevertheless, we should be able to overdrive it to the point where it wants to oversteer, and it's just not doing that. So maybe the front bar is too big. I know a lot of you guys were saying we went too big on the rear bar and this thing was going to be an oversteer monster. We seem to have the opposite problem. Honestly, I know Pete doesn't agree with me on this, but I suspect maybe the alignment. We have basically the same amount of camber front and rear, and typically with race Miatas, they have at least a degree more front camber than rear. Sometimes only a half degree. Like I know the spec Miata guys like 3.2 in the front, 2.6 or 7 in the rear. So like maybe a half degree of difference. I don't know. I'm really kind of perplexed why the car's not freeing itself up with some changes, but we'll go and rethink it. You guys let us know in the comments what you think we should try next. I think it's just time to call this a wrap, PT. We gotta go back to the drawing board and strategize about how to make this thing a little bit looser. It was super fun though. The car runs great. I mean, we didn't have any major mechanical issues. That shifter knob change helped. I much prefer it down low. Pete, you weren't loving the pedal covers?
Nah, the pedal covers gotta go, yeah.
Those are gonna go
At
away.
least 2 of them.
What else? The steering wheel, did you find it a little bit on the big side?
It is a little bit, yeah, especially for somebody that's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be very tight, so I'm thinking we downsize that thing.
Maybe try a 330 instead
Yeah.
of a 350 mil wheel. So
Yep.
that might be something you see in the next track test. So
And remember to post in the comments about the shake we have, because I think that might be a motor mount issue or a bushing issue.
yeah, it seemed to get less severe each time we tested. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe we just had a bit of brake pad bedding in issue. Who knows? There's some mysteries to be unraveled here, but unfortunately we got to call this one a wrap for today. So thank you very much for watching. In the next track test episode, we will get you some lap times and we will get this car freed up and rotating the way we want it to before we start putting our favorite and hopefully your favorite YouTubers in it for some real hot lap action. Well, it's oversteering, everybody.